Here is the Trevor Bayne rookie 21 Ward Brothers Ford when he won the Daytona 500 in 2011. I remember that race. That was probably one of the best races I've watched, and it was one of the most exciting races, in my opinion. And then here's a slightly changed one. I think it's from last year, maybe, or 2013, or it could be from anywhere from 2012 to last year. And then you have the Ward Burton number 22 Caterpillar Dodge. Yeah, it's a Dodge. Ward Burton, back when he was in his prime, actually. You have Joey Logano number 22. I think, yeah, this was from last year, 2013. Forget which. And then this is this year's 22 Discount Tire. I didn't own that paint scheme until I went to the Hall of Fame, so there's that. This is actually the recent Tribute DuPont Rainbow Warrior paint scheme. This isn't an old car. It's the recent run they released to the market. And here is my Jeff Gordon Pepsi car. Oddly, for a while, this was the only Jeff Gordon car I owned, like up until like 2011, because I didn't really like his paint schemes in that era. They're okay, but they weren't any Rainbow War or anything. This is the one for the Children's Hospital, the car tomorrow. It's the car that his daughter, like it's the car his daughter drew for a children's hospital. Here's his ARP Drive to End Hunger. I think that's from that's from 2011. That might be from about 2012, it could be 2014. Yeah, it's 2014 or 2013. It's the Iron Elite real truck paint car. This one has a weird texture to it. I don't know, it's just weird. Probably because the colors they used, it's black, yellow. I think it's a pretty cool car. I got this one recently as well. It's the Jeff Gordon number 24 Pepsi that he's going to run later this year. And it's a really cool car. And I like Pepsi, so yeah. Here we have 25 Wally Dallenbach. There's a throwback for you. Again, and I believe, yeah, that 25 is Jerry Nadeau, not Joe Nemechek. So it's when Jerry Nadeau got his only career Sprint Cup win. Here are Paul Menard's number 27. That one's from 2011. The year he got his only win at the Brickyard. That one's from, it could be from any year. It could be from 2012 onward. And this one's from this year. It's the Pittsburgh Paints blue. That's why I got it. Here's the number 28 U.S. Border Patrol for J. Robinson Racing. And it has no driver on it, but it's Kenny Wallace. He drove that car the most out of any other driver. This is a pretty odd car right here. It's the it's 29 Bobby Labonte Busch car, and I don't know what year it's from. It's from probably 2003 or 2004. I don't know if he ever drove it. He may have drove it in a couple races. If somebody wants to tell me about that. Here are the Kevin Harvick's. Oh yeah, and oddly, it was the only 29 I had for a while because my parents wouldn't buy it. I don't know. I didn't have a 29 when I was little. Anyway, here are all Kevin Harvick's cars. That one is off the base because I had my dad take it off. I don't know why. I heard online that you could do that, so you could use them in stop motions. I got it where I was in a phase where I thought I could actually make, where it was just stupid. But I kept the other two on my on here. You have the 2012 Budweiser, and then I think that's his last year driving for RCR. In the 2013, it's more similar to his Stuart Haas team. Oh yeah, Robert Gordon in the 31 singular wireless. It was Robbie Gordon, 31 when he still drove for RCR. He got a few He got wins on the road courses and with Lowe's at New Hampshire. He swept the road courses in 2003, and then or 2002 or 2003, I forget. Then you have the Jeff Burton. These are both Jeff Burton because he was driving. I think that's 2012 maybe, and then 2013 Jeff Burton. 2013 Jeff Burton Wheaties, and then you have Ryan Newman after he left Stewart-Haas in the 31. This is one of my favorite paint schemes ever right here with Ricky Craven in the number 32 Tide. Is that Pontiac? Yeah, it's a Pontiac. Back when Pontiac was in NASCAR. Here's probably my second or third. Yeah, I think he's definitely my second or third favorite driver in Sprint Cup. And he's probably going to become my favorite after Tony Stewart retires. But Kyle Larson's number 32 Clorox car that he drove as his main scheme in the Nationwide Series in 2013. And he wrecked at Daytona with. You have Clint Boyer 33 Wheaties Fuel. That's my only Clint Boyer 33 RCR car. Here's Tony Stewart Oreo car, Oreo 100th anniversary. Obviously I have a lot of Tony Stewart cars, and his 33 Oreo Ritz car, or not just Ritz car, that he won with when Regan Smith got turned out at the end of the race by Brad Keselowski a couple years back, in 2013. You have Ty Dillon before he drove the 3 in Nationwide when he drove the 33. I think this is Max Pappas 33 right here. It's not Paul Menard, it's Max Pappas. You have the Ron Fellows 33 Canadian Tire, which is an interesting car. He drove at the road courses, I think last year or the year before, I forget. Here's one of the first underfunded team diecasts I got. It's the David Gilliland when he drove the 34, but it's the I think it's the Wounded Warrior Project, or no, it's the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, not Wounded Warrior Project. But it's a tribute. Here's the David Reagan when he started driving the 34, the Peanut Patch, Bold Peanuts car. This is 35, Steve Park tribute, or this is the car Steve Park drove. It's just when Steve Park made a couple starts in NASCAR. His final 2 starts, and he drove them. I think this may have been a tribute to a modified driver. It's his old blue paint scheme. You have Kenny Schrader right here in the 36 teal M&M's car. Ooh, I liked the M&M's car back in the day. Can't say I liked it. When I was really little, I liked cars over the sponsors rather than their drivers. I didn't really follow drivers. 36 Boris said Century car that he drove for, I think it was MB2 Motorsports. Boris said has actually attempted a couple full-time schedules before. It's a throwback to when Jeremy Mayfield 37 Kmart RC Cola car bought this, now known as Jeremy Methfield. I'm not making a joke. I just saw somebody's name on Reddit. It was that. Don't come on here, Jeremy Mayfield, and say I misunderstand you, because I do understand you. I'm just saying that I just thought the guy's name was funny. But I'm rambling on about nothing, because this is a really cool car, back before he drove for Penske or Everham or anything. And I think he got his first win in it, maybe. I forget. Here I have David Gilliland 38 Love's car. David Gilliland in the 38, driving for Front Row Racing. And here's Car Tomorrow, Ryan Newman 39. And Tornadoes. I think this was the year after he won at Phoenix in this car. but I got it because it's a pretty cool paint scheme. And I don't know whatever happened to them. Probably left after a couple seasons. It's Ryan Newman's last Army paint scheme before the Armed Forces can't no longer sponsor NASCAR. And then you have his Quicken Loan paint scheme the year before he left, I think, or the year before that, and then his Outback scheme, which came on like right before he left Stewart-Haas. But I think I like this paint scheme better than Kevin Harvick's. Here's 41 Jimmy Spencer. I really liked the Target car back then, and I've started liking a driver with the Target sponsor again. And then I have Casey Mears the year later after Jimmy Spencer got fired. It's pretty ironic. And then you have Kurt Busch 41's Haas automotive car. It's pretty ironic because Kurt Busch and Jimmy Spencer had a rivalry back in the day, and he's driving the 41 now for Stewart-Haas. Everything ties up into a perfect little bow. And so yeah, I'll move on to the next row. Here I have the 42 Juan Pablo Montoya Target car, full Target red, before he went back to IndyCar and won the Indy 500 this year. He's also famous for crashing into the jet dryer at Daytona at the late night at the Daytona 500. Excuse me. I didn't mean to do that. It's just all this talking has got me that way. Right here we have Kyle Larson. This isn't his rookie car. It's from this season. And Kyle Larson is definitely one of my favorite drivers. You have Richard Petty, Hall of Fame inductee car, like his classic car that they gave in with the inaugural class. 43, I think I got this in a box of cereal. This isn't even really actually a diecast. It's kind of a toy car. I put it in there for reference, but I figured I'd include it since it looks like a car, and it's in my it's been in my collection forever. Here we have John Andretti, 43 Star Wars cars. You have the ever infamous Episode 1, the ever infamous Episode 2, and the loved classic, the one about the classic trilogy. This was before Episode 3 was released, obviously. You have the gift card Best Buy AJ Allmendinger car, which, look at the bottom of it. It's also probably, it's a diecast you could get with a gift card at Best Buy. You have the Valvoline 43 for AJ Allmendinger before he left for Penske, and then he got drug rehab, or for something stupid reason. Came back, redeemed himself with Penske's nationwide team, and then came back and got a full-time ride with JT Daugherty, and won at Watkins Glen and made the chase. So he's a really good driver that's made one of those redemption stories. You have Eric Amarola, Smithfield Foods. I think that's from last year, maybe, or 2013 or 2014. And I think that may be from last year, 2014. Here is another Tony Stewart car. I got this for like $2 with the Jeremy Mayfield car and the Steve Park 14. Here's the 44 Shell Tony Stewart Busch car from back in the 90s. And my cat Buddy just came in here, but anyway, this is a real cool paint scheme, even though he never won in it. And the hood opens, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to break my car. Right here we have Bobby Labonte when he drove for the 47 team. And this is Kingsford before JT Daugherty, after Marcus Ambrose moved, and then before AJ Allmendinger came on. And here we have the 47 Bush's Baked Beans from this season for AJ Allmendinger. For a while, this was the only Jimmy Johnson paint scheme I had. It's the 48 Pride, Lowe's Pride American Pride paint scheme. It's the only one I had for a while. Same thing with Jeff Gordon. I don't know. I've just never been the biggest fan of either driver, but I respect Jeff Gordon now. But I'm Ed on Jimmy Johnson, and I only have one other Jimmy Johnson paint scheme, which is 48 with a white stripe down the middle, and I think it's a pretty cool paint scheme. Alright, here we have Ken Schrader's number 49 Schwann's food services. And he drove for Schwann Racing for 1 or 2 years in the 49. And I actually kind of like that. I remember that car because when I was little, they get Schwann, the orange pops or orange push-ups, and I'd get them and I'd like that. Here we have a throwback AJ Foyt number 51, sort of a old classic car. I forget what year it's from, but it's for Gilmore Racing, and it's in a 51. I got the 50. I saw it and I had to get it. And then we have H. Scott Motorsports. When Kyle Larson at the end of 2013, he drove a few races to get prepared for his Cup schedule, and he had this Target sponsor. He drove for the 51. I had to get this because Kyle Larson probably one of those, another Tony Stewart as far as how many cars I have of him, because he's one of my drivers. I like, here I have the Michael Waltrip 55 Michael Waltrip, but I consider it Brian Vickers because he won in the car that year, 2013. That's also, the 55 is also from Car Tomorrow. 56 Car Tomorrow Martin Truex, and he's been doing better for himself recently with Furniture Row. He was, in 2013, he picked up from that car, and then he started getting really good, and then he got kicked out because of all the problems with the cheating issue, and it looks like Michael Waltrip Racing is not going to be around too much longer. But here we have the 57 Jason Keller Excedrin Migraine and the Albertsons car, back when Jason Keller drove for, in like the early 2000s, for the 57 team, and I think he won quite a few races, maybe, or a few races. Here we have a 60, I think this is Trevor Bain 60 nationwide car, 25th anniversary of Roush Fenway Racing, and I got that a few years back at Bristol. I have the Dave Blaney number 77 Jasper Ford. I think that's Ford. But it came with that hauler. I remember getting it from somebody when I was younger. I had the 77 Sam Hornish Mobile 1 Car Tomorrow. Don't laugh, but I have the 77 Stephen Wallace car, the 5-hour energy car that he ran in the Daytona 500. But he actually did pretty well in that race. He's not as bad as people say he is. They just kind of look at it. He never won a race, so he wasn't too bad, but it's not like he was great or anything. Here we have our Furniture Row cars. I have the Car Tomorrow Regan Smith like model car before Furniture Row was big. Like came out in like 2010, or yeah, 2010, and I got it, and that's before Regan Smith won the Southern 500, and they started getting consistent. And then you have the 78 Ricky Bobby tribute, or 78 Ricky Bobby tribute, Wonder Bread for Kurt Busch, because Kurt Busch's career path followed similar fates. This is Martin Truex Jr.'s Furniture Row car from last year, not this year. So same car, just less successful. Here we have two of my favorite paint schemes, because you have the blue Brian Vickers Car Tomorrow from 2010, and then 2011 Red Bull their last year, or I think it's 2000. It's either 2011 or 2012, but it's Brian Vickers 83 silver Red Bull, because yeah, it was 2011, and because Casey King got the blue paint scheme. Here we have Dale Jarrett 88 UPS. That's my only Dale Jarrett car, so it's only just one solid brown scheme. I think that's his test car or something. Here are all my Dale Earnhardt Jr. cars. So I have his National Guard cars right there, his Amp Energy, his National Guard, his Mountain Dew Kickstart. So that's all my Dale Jr. cars. I'm not going to say too much about them because I don't really have an emotional connection to them. Here's Kurt Busch rookie car, his blue Sharpie. I think that's one of his best schemes ever, honestly. His Rubbermaid 2003 car that he clashed with Ricky Craven at Darlington. You have Jeff Burton, number 99 Citgo, and Carl Edwards Affleck. I don't know which from yours. Subway, his Subway car is Fastenal, his UPS, and the last one is the Travis Pastrana failed experiment NASCAR Boost Mobile car when he drove. I think it was for Michael Waltrip Racing. Before he joined Roush. And there are a couple other cars. Here's some other cars I have. Just Disney promotion cars with Goofy and Mickey. My parents bought one for me and my sister. And then what is it called? The cars they sell with the promotional car for the the Bristol race weekend with Food CD 250, the truck race O'Reilly, and the Sharpie 500. So there's that car, and then you have the Kellogg's that came with Terry Labonte, the Terry Labonte number 5 hauler, and the 77 Jasper Racing Dave Blaney hauler. I have a couple trucks that I got with the 1 and the 9. They had a haul or trailers they had put the cars on, but I couldn't find them. They're probably in that massive pile of junk back there. So yeah, there's a couple trucks. Here are my 124 cars. I have the Zero Mike Bliss Net Zero car. They sold this in the store like it's the Haas CNC Racing before they partnered up with Tony Stewart, and they became a championship winning team. So you have that. The 33 Anderson's Maple Syrup Ron Hornaday truck. I'm not going to take that out, but I had a review on it a couple years ago, and it is signed by Ron Hornaday. So that's my first. That's my first and only piece of NASCAR signed memorabilia, and it's by a NASCAR legend who's going to win. Probably going to be in the Hall of Fame. You're going to have a 92 McDonald's Powerade Tony Stewart car that he drove in the Busch Series for a couple races for KHI. That's another Tony Stewart car. And I have the Kurt Busch Sharpie Superman. I don't know if he ever ran this or at all, but I got all those 124s for my birthday. And I found this at church, at my church's fall festival. I don't know if Kurt Busch ever run that scheme, but it was good. Here we have the number 33 Tim Fedowa from 1998, maybe. But he won a couple races, and they might have been in that car or another car. But I don't know what team he's running for, but it's the Kleenex Tim Fedowa. I even forgot that I had that. Here I have the number 1 Steve Park official fan winner circle car. I didn't take this out of the package, so I really like that Pennzoil paint scheme, so It's good. And here I have the Racing Champions Steve Grissom number 29 car back in 1996. As I was saying before I got interrupted, I have my Steve Grissom Racing Champions number 29 Cartoon Network Busch Series car, or if it could be Cup, I'm not sure. But Steve Grissom was a Busch Series champ back in the 90s, and I did open this, but I retaped it back in there, so it may still be worth something to somebody, but I'll just sell it if I ever have to sell it. I don't know if it'll be worth much. Here I have the I'm not sure which scale they are, but I have a number 2 Team Rusty, appropriate for kids, like the regular collector, not adult collectors. Tony Stewart's number 22, or not 22, but number 20. Home Depot Great Pumpkin Patch, Charlie Brown. Pontiac, Joe Nemechek, Looney Tunes, Yuha Delphi, the Ricky Rudd's number 28, Halloween, Muppets, Kevin Harvick's number 29, Good Wrench Plus. I think these are more, I don't know what scale they are. And then we have Jimmy Spencer's number 41, Muppets, Target. I don't know what scale these ones are, but some of them, it's an interesting bunch, the scale. And so here is my entire NASCAR Diecast collection. You can look over it. And anyway, guys, this has been ahhculdee for now with my NASCAR Diecast collection. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to comment, rate, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. This is ahhculdee for now, and this is ahhculdee signing out.